Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. We're taking another look here at Shiba Inu. Got a tremendous amount of requests here, and I can totally see why. It's been a few weeks since we covered this last. Quick heads up, I'm not at my office. I know it's pretty obvious that you're staring at the ceiling. I apologize for that, but we'll go ahead and just go ahead and deal with that for the next couple of days. I'll be back on track here soon. I am traveling for the moment. So if you're new to the channel, know this. I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today, and I do plan to help educate you on everything that I'm doing here, of course. We're going to redraw out some Fibonacci retracement levels and just kind of generally understand what's happening with this new trend and really just see how much further it could go if it were to continue. So again, not a financial advisor, love people, and love trading and love teaching. So all the above. I just like getting people where they need to go. So congrats to a lot of my community members for just being fantastic traders here recently. We got some really cool trades here on MXC Global. That's a Floki trade. I'm affiliated with them as well. If you want to register down below, there's really good rewards there. Bitget as well, my favorite exchange here for manual trades, 82% there from a long here from SAC. And then furthermore, take a look at this here. Looks perpetual, 385%. Bad trades there. Good job, Alexandru. Those are some of my admins and just generally speaking, some of my community members that are just kicking some serious tail. Okay, so keep up the good work. We do have an affiliation with Bitget and ByBit. $4,000 trading price pool right now for the month of February. And then same thing with ByBit as well. We'll have some new ones, but they have some really extremely awesome deposit rewards. So be sure to use the links down below so you can be eligible for my trading pool, my monthly trading pools that we have with both exchanges. Last but not least, 3 months free with a 12-month plan through ExpressVPN. Be sure to check that out. All right, so here's the thing with Shiba Inu. It's doing pretty well. There's no other way around it, all right? We can kind of see that. But what we want to do is I drew out some new Fibonacci retracement levels, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at, generally speaking, what this means for us, and then we'll draw out a couple of other support and resistance levels because we can see a pretty definitive line right here. You see where the price action couldn't get past for about 5 days straight, but right here, retested on the 18th of January and then broke through after 3 more reattempts here. So this is kind of a standard cup and handle pattern. It's a very larger time frame, definitely, but it's a cup and handle nonetheless, right? And the reason why cup and handle patterns tend to break out to the upside pretty consistently is because they retest a previous resistance level, as we see right here at this, 1295 range. Hits it multiple times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times after being rejected 5 times previously and then broke through. Okay, so we can assume that that's going to be the new support level, all right? So right there to a 1295, just round up 1300 is an easy number. 1300 will be this new support if the price were to pull back, okay? Furthermore, we have this 0.786 mark here on Fibonacci retracement at 1361. That will also likely work as a support level 2 initially. If it's broken, then it comes down to 1300. Okay, because again, you can kind of see this level here where the price got rejected multiple times and then continued further down. Okay, so that's kind of just reiterating where we're at for the moment. But keep in mind here, Shiba Inu has tremendous potential to skyrocket. So this is a beginning of a very potential significant gain, okay? That being said, we take a look at the larger, better case scenario. If just say we were to continue this run of the last, roughly month, in 1 more month from now, we could see somewhere in the range of about 2,700, okay? Again, this is a could be potential scenario. There's no guarantees on, roughly what that will look like, but for lack of better terms, it has a lot of potential, not just based on its past criteria, but here in Fibonacci retracement levels, it's taken roughly about a month to grow this much. Another month from now, we could very well see a 2x in the overall sense of where the current price action's at. So somewhere in the range of maybe 3,000 in a month or two if things continue to go the way they should. That being said, we need to see a correction in that time frame, right? That'll be a natural thing we'll see eventually. It could be something very simple, just like this. It could just be a really simple thing. But for the most part, if this continues higher, you can expect it to drop down a lot faster if Bitcoin especially turns itself around. I'm expecting Bitcoin to break out to the upside here in the near future. In fact, considering a long position at 23,000. Generally speaking, though, here at Shiba Inu, we can tell that there's a lot of potential. So let's talk about that potential here and go back to its previous point time. Okay, so when we see back when the RSI was significantly high, about 92, that was when it first had a significant increase. Okay, now keep in mind the significant increase in 3 trading days was almost 300% from bottom to top. Okay, the reason why I'm bringing that up and that's relevant is because RSI is well over 70. Okay, we haven't seen that from Shiba Inu in a while. The last time it went up over 70, it came right back down in 1 day. Okay, so we don't want that. But the good news is we've had a decent build up to this and a strong resistance level breakthrough. So that really implies that the price will probably stay where it's at, or if not go higher. That's really just kind of what it tells us. So history repeats itself. We saw 3 strong green days followed by a red day. What do you know? That's my favorite candlestick pattern. That is effectively three white soldiers. So if you're not familiar with that, three white soldiers is a candlestick pattern where you have three strong green days followed by a fourth red day. Okay, so really what that boils down to is hitting two nines on TD sequential in the 4 hour. I'll explain that in a minute, but that really just helps us know that there's been about 72 hours of continuation, and a pullback would make perfect sense. So we're not there yet, but just know we're 24 hours into a potential 72-hour period where the price action could very well continue higher. And just know if it were to, the fourth day was always, in most cases, red. Doesn't have to be a significant drop, but it will be a red day. So just be prepared for that. We're kind of at the beginning of that stage here, I feel. We should see about 2 more days of continuation. Significant convergence on the MACD that isn't really super relevant considering how hard we broke out. If we take a look at the moving averages, a 20-day simple moving average is working as basically an ascending type of trend. So generally speaking, when you see the 20-day SMA working its way up and the price staying above, that's a bullish scenario. Okay, so had we broken down below that, it would have been a different story, but we're holding above, giving us that ascending type of trend. Okay, so that's good. It's very good. We also have a potential golden cross here as well, where the price action, whereas the 20-day simple moving average, as we see already, is creating that trend line. We've got the 50 and the 200 intersecting in an upward fashion, creating a golden cross potential. Okay, I say potential because the price could pull back. It may not happen, but it's this inevitability of when the 50 is under the 200 that the price will continue to increase past that point, giving us that, the general consensus that in the last 50 days, we're much more bullish than we were in the last 200 days. That's kind of this shift in momentum, this the fear and greed index, so to speak. When fear is subsiding and greed is becoming relevant, you see things like this happen more often. So taking a look at the 4 hour, let's see what's going on here, of course, because this is something that is important to note. 200-day SMA works concurrent with most trend lines. It's very synonymous in a lot of ways with the 20 on the daily. Okay, because again, you do the math, it's pretty close to the same moving average. So this kind of reaffirms the fact that the 4 hour is bullish. Furthermore, we also have a significant convergence, of course, that is very, very strong. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But the thing I don't love here is that the RSI is up over 70. Now again, RSI up over 70 happens all the time, right? But when it stays above 70 for too long, it'll pull back pretty significant. So we could, once again, very well still see another couple of days of continuation. But we look back at its history here when it was really, really cranking. Let's see if we can go back that far. We can see the RSI was well over 70. And how long was it up there for? From the 3rd to the 6th. What do you know? 3 trading days there. Okay, so again, the price action being above 70 right now on the 4 hour typically would give me cause for concern, thinking it's going to pull back. But I highly recommend not shorting into this because the great chance that the probability of it continuing higher is there. Therefore, we can disseminate that here in another couple of days, the RSI will naturally be under 70 rather, and start making it ways down towards 30, if you will. And at that point, would be a good time to sell and take your profit. Too early, too premature right now to consider taking profit, in my opinion, just based on the fact that it looks like it wants to continue to run. Okay, so again, no guarantees in this, but statistically probable we're going to see further upside than downside. And that's, again, all we're really doing is just kind of figuring out, based on each time frame, what's happening and how it affects the other. And again, the hourly translates to the 4 hour, 4 hour to the daily. So in that sense, if you look at the hourly, we can see here as well, super strong continuation. We are having somewhat of an overextension, but it's not terrible. And if you see this last one too, which is cool, comes up to a 5, 6, or 7, hits a nice little reset, comes on up, breaks through that Fibonacci retracement level, and now it's going to average itself out and continue higher. So there's a great probability we're going to see continuation because this is a fairly healthy push to the upside. And I say fairly healthy, it's not perfect by any stretch, but you can see this perfect type of pennant pattern breakout. All right, this happens all the time in trading, and it's a wonderful thing when you can kind of get ahead of it. I didn't have any alerts set here, so I wasn't able to catch this, but that's generally the concept, is to kind of pay attention to the charts and see what's going to happen next. Now, here's the thing with Ichimoku Cloud, all green lights, lagging span, free and clear price action. Conversion line significantly above the baseline, giving us that momentum confirmation. We're also averaging ourselves out above the actual upper and lower lead on the cloud. So all great things, but keep this in mind. The price were to pull back. I don't think it will in the immediate future. If it does, we should see the price action continue to stay above that cloud, right? The cloud is a good support level, kind of reaffirming that the overall momentum is still bullish at this point, and we're on the right side of the tracks. So there's really no downside that I see here so far, minus a slight overextension on the 4 hour, which I am leading to believe that we will see a continuation further. And here's the thing. Once again, I mentioned 72 hours and basically 3 green candlesticks. How is that relevant for this? Well, It's relevant because when you see this 9 on 2 sequential here, that's essentially 36 hours continuation. Okay, so a pullback would make sense, or consolidation. One of the two things will likely occur. It shouldn't go much higher right now. However, if it were to consolidate here, get a short period of reset like this one here, we will likely see the next leg up for the next 36 hours continuation, basically 9 4-hour candlesticks, or no, sorry, 9 4-hour candlesticks, all the way to the upside to hit that 72-hour period, and then a pullback. Because again, for the most part, you're not going to see two full sequences on the 4-hour without a correction. We haven't had a correction yet. We saw consolidation. If we see a little more consolidation and increase, then you can expect probably another 9. So my anticipation is that we will see these Fibonacci retracement levels here tested in the relative near future. In other words, 1520 could be very well the new support. And if we can continue to hold for the next 24 hours, the next leg up should hit somewhere in the range of 1700. Again, should, could, if, who knows? Truly, we don't. But a lot of things here are looking statistically probable for further upside than downside. And those are things I like to trade with. Again, there's a reason why I have close to an 80% average success rate in my overall trades for the last however many years. Honestly, you kind of lose count after a while, but I'll still make mistakes, don't get me wrong, but generally speaking, you minimize your mistakes by analyzing things correctly and consistently. And if you're going to set some alerts for a pullback, for example, just say down to that 1300 range, you want to reevaluate and make sure that you know what it looks like at that time. Don't just blindly jump in. I try to teach that to my community, and it's a hard thing to learn at first because FOMO is a real thing. So at this point, I would say that FOMO is potentially an okay or a viable option here. I would just recommend waiting to see if we consolidate at 1520 or if we pull back to the 1360 range, and just generally what the price might look like between now and then. So pullback would make sense at this point. We're overextended on the 4-hour, but on the same accord, continuation seems more probable based on golden cross potential here. 70 on the RSI, really giving us that firm indication we're probably going to stay above there as well, and that we have more continuation possibility here. So either way, I think you get the general consensus of where my mind's at here. I hope this was beneficial and helpful for you, and I hope that things go very well for you. Keep up the great work. To my community members, you're all very awesome. Greatly appreciate working with you all the time. If you're not currently one, consider joining. CryptoCash.tech is a site. Look forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next one.